Shalom Aleichem, Kavra. The Kavod Shabbos Kodesh, 49 days until Purim. 49 days. 49 days. Getting it. Do we have it wrong? Do we have the count? I think we have less than, let's see. 49 days. 49 days Kavra until Purim. Huge. We have 40th until Shabbos, Pizat Hashem. We're in the time of Shovavim. And yeah, it's there's a lot to get into. B'ezrat Hashem. So Tzil B'Shim Kol Yisrael for Pesach Uvim Ben Yisrael Aser Baruch Bas Yehudis Yona Bas Basia Shira Bas Basia Sign there Uvim Ben Money Tova Bas Peril Ilu Nishma Yudi Baruch Bas Nechemia Mir Neshama have an Aliyah. I'm just pulling up the tefillah right now. B'ezrat Hashem. How's everyone doing? How we doing? We good? Good. Baruch Hashem, we're good. Let's get the tefillah. Tefillah b'Shem Kol Yisrael. Okay. Chavra, volume 2, prayer 16. We're going to do this in Hebrew. B'Shem Kol Yisrael. Adon Yachid. Malei Rachamim. Hashem Elokim Emet. Shamreini v'atzileni. This is plural, not singular. Rachamecha harabim. Mean, I can't do this in Hebrew with the plural. Kata shakranim v'atzvuim rachem alai v'shamreini v'atzileni. Shelo yudbak bishum devar sheker. V'lo shum tenua shel sheker. V'lo yetzei b'ri devar sheker v'tzviut. Chas v'shalom lo le'eh al dati. Chas v'shalom li'paher. B'gdolo v'niflo b'meni. V'lo et atzmi v'lo et achirim. Ad Hashem. Had to pull up one. Halacha l'maisa. Kiss Shulchan Aruch, number 7. We are not deviating from the Purim stuff, but until we get the Kiss Shulchan Aruch book back, I couldn't find the Siman. Have to get the Siman after this. But it says like this: even if you are awake the entire night, in the morning you should recite all the morning brachos except for the bracha of Netilas Yadayim, which you do not recite. There is a question in the bracha of Elokai Neshama and the bracha Hama'avir Shena, and also the brachas of the Torah should be said, and therefore it is best to hear them from another person and to answer Amen. This is nice halakha l'maisa b'ezrat Hashem. Those who are pulling all-nighters, okay, this is a big Mishnah, chapter 2, Mishnah 15, and let's go weiter. Rabbi Tarfon said, the day is short, the work is great, the workers are lazy, the wages are high, and the master is insistent. This is a massive Mishnah. Where we have to know that I think we heard this from Dr. Benji Epstein once, and from other people, is that like as every second goes by, it's 1 second closer to our expiration date in this world, right? So the span of human life is brief, right? It's not that long. The work is great. Says the digestive commentaries in the rest of Pirkei Avot that the mastery of Torah is a vast understanding, right? We're in the sea of wisdom, right? We spoke about yesterday having that responsibility, or a couple of days ago, feeling that responsibility to learn Torah, to toil ourselves into Torah, to know whom we're learning Torah in front of, and it's big. It's no walk in the park, Yet the mission is telling us one day at a time, right? The day is short, the work is great, the workers are lazy, the wages are high, and the master is insistent. So how could we do this? What's the eitzah? Right? We're in the sea of wisdom, we're in the thick of things, the world is moving. Rabbi Nachman gives us all of Rabbi Nachman's advice is so helpful when it comes to this, but two things in particular, two Torahs of Rabbeinu Zal come to mind, and they're both very, very much connected to each other. But we'll first start with the Likutei Sichot Aran Shtaim, that number 2, where Rabbi Nachman starts off the Sicha saying it is very good to rely on God completely, right? And to mamash as every day begins, right? We know that the struggles are here, right? The emails are flying through, the text messages, the scores of the game, and the stress, the anxiety. Oh my gosh, like I have these things to attend to, but I also have to make time for Torah, steal some Torah, fight the Yetzer Hara and all these situations. It's a stressful, heavy burden type day. Says Rabbeinu, the most beautiful thing in the world, as each day begins, right? He used to place every movement and that all of his children and all dependents are in God's hands. Rabbeinu Zal would do this, asking that everything goes as God would want it. Right? This is very good, and we have no worries. Whether or not things go well, we are relying on God, whatever He desires. I have already asked that we do only His will. Right? And I feel like this was like the secret of Nachamish Gamzu Latova. Maybe he practiced this. But and then Rabbi Nachman continues in the Sikha how you do it before Shabbos and festivals, bring out the halachot in the correct manner. But Kitzer Shulchan Aruch, Kitzer, putting our whole burden, our whole selves into God's hands, saying, whatever you desire, I desire as well. So there's another connecting piece, which is the biggest piece, where Max taught it to me. All tzaddikim talk about this all the time, and it does wonders for the world, right? The world who learns this piece of Torah, these pieces of Torah from the Mishnah, the Rabbi Nachman, it's unbelievable. So Rabbi Nachman says in the Likutei Maran, volume 1, 272, the biggest piece in the world, Hayom b'kilo tishmau, Hayom im b'kilo tishmau. Today, if you hear my voice, says Rabbeinu, that this is a fundamental rule in the service of God. Focus only on the present day and hour. So we'll just go a little bit more, read what we have to read. With regard to our livelihood and personal needs, we should not worry too much from one day to the next. Similarly, with regard to divine service, we should concentrate on this day, in this moment. At first, the service of God may seem like a heavy burden, right? The day is short, says the Mishnah. The work is great. A heavy burden. I have so much to do, so many hours to work, so many hours when I'm not in work to work. How do I do this? And we may wonder how we can possibly bear such a load. But when we consider that we only have this one day to deal with, we will find it much more manageable. If we're thinking that tomorrow and the next day and a week and a month and a year and 5 years from now are connected to this one day, which, by the way, decisions we make into this day are mamash eternal. But just focusing on right now, on the present moment, being in the present moment. A second ago, I may have been in bed, but this second, I jump out of bed. It's a new second. Right? A second ago, I was falling asleep in davening, but then we spark ourselves saying, oh, this is a new second, this is a new creation. And you jump out of, and we jump out of that sleep. We jump out of the evil forces, and we're like, no, right now, I'm davening with force, I'm davening with intensity, I'm davening with grace. And we can mamash be by Aleinu. Where we always say, mamash, the highest Eden of all, are the ones who show up by Aleinu. Obviously, they may have their own struggles, right? Me wanting to come to Bal Zion, or having that question whether to go to Mini or not. But the ones who show up by Aleinu Mamash, the highest of the high. This is exactly what we're saying here. A little bit is also good. A little bit is also good. Additionally, we should not procrastinate from one day to the next, saying, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll pray more attentively and with the right enthusiasm, because who knows tomorrow? We don't have tomorrow right now. All we have is right now, this moment. For our world consists solely of the present day and moment. Tomorrow is a different world entirely. This is the meaning of today. If you heed his voice, Hayom im b'kulo tishma. Rabbi Nachman says, and he once observed, every day has its own blessing. So every day, every moment is a time for shining. It's a gift. It's mamish the highest gift. Just one story before we conclude for tonight. I'm sure many of you have heard this before, but mamish right now is here for the first time. Let's learn it for the first time. May it enter our hearts really deeply because this is really big. The Vilna Gaon live with the sense of the fleeting opportunities this world presents us. And by the way, this story could be told as like a nice vort, but this is mamish like lemaisa, what the mission is telling us, what Rabbi Nachman is telling us, and we should live this way, and we should live with this intensity, and just live with knowing that we have so many opportunities every single moment. Shortly before the Vilna Gaon died, he was holding a tzitzis and crying. He explained to his followers, soon I will be leaving this world. Here for just a few pennies I can buy tzitzis and fulfill the mitzvah every minute of the day and day after day. Before long I will be in the world where I will not be able to purchase that opportunity even for millions. However, B'ezrat Hashem, we have so much Torah available. We could just jump on Sefaria. We have the Torah. We have the opportunities. We have the devices. We have the friends. We have the books. We have everything, mamish. So however, we should just mechazik ourselves, strengthen ourselves to connect deeply and to understand that every single moment, every single crumb is the highest. It's mamish the greatest gift. To the point where I was at Yankala's once cafe in Herzliya with a dear friend, and we were joking the whole meal whether to ask the waiter or not to take our crumb that was on the table to go. Take it to go. One little crumb. How amazing would that be? Like a huge box with one little crumb. We should know the smallest pieces are the highest.